talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin, and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. Here we go now. I'm talking about Mr. Gulley, and you don't know where he's been. Oh no, he's been right in your alley. Well, I'm Mr. Gulley, yes I am. So what we're talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin, and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. One, two, three, four. They call me Mr. Gulley. I've got something for your ear. Now it might sound kind of funny, but I'll make it very clear. So what we talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin, and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. Here we go now. I'm talking about Mr. Gulley, and you don't know where he's been. Oh no, he's been right in your alley. Well, I'm Mr. Gulley, yes I am. So what we're talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin, and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way.
Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What's shaking on your Monday night? Hope you're having a good one. Tonight, let me tell you about birthday cake. As we kick off birthday week, ought to be quite a thrill. And let's get to some of your comments. Tim Jenkinson's here from across the pond. He says, good evening. Did you enjoy the weekend and the Indy 500? Yeah, it was great. Technically still the weekend since people have the day off here because it's Memorial Day. So, yeehaw. But I went over to a thing at a place and did some stuff for the race and watched it. And basically, I watch all the pomp and the circumstance before the race starts, and then the race starts, and I kind of pay attention to it until there's about 20 laps left, and then I watch it. And otherwise, I eat hamburgers. So, Tim Jenkinson says those weight loss injections could be a topic. I just found out they are from lizard venom. I'm going to have to look into that. That's the one, Indy. Yes, Indy 500 would be 500 bad horror movies or movies about millennials falling in love 20 years apart. Okay, so Metal Main Vicky says, good evening, Tom and everyone. I spent some time on Saturday for Metal Maiden Vicky's final Metal Euphoria on Sonic Asylum Radio, I guess, at least. I hope that'll come back somewhere else very, very soon, but that's kind of what I did. The Wolf was there, and she played her very first show some 10 years earlier. It was the very first show that she ever did on Sonic Asylum Radio. So it was a good way to spend Saturday afternoon. I went to run an errand, and then my brother called me, and I had to be away for a while, but it was fun, and maybe we'll do a show here coming up on Sonic Asylum Radio. And the whole history. There's a big thunderstorm going on here right now, by the way. Fishman says it's 10%. It's 10 p.m. Excuse me. Do you know where your gully? I know where mine is. Good evening. Did you have a nice weekend? I don't know. That's directed to. I've already answered that. Middle Maid Vicky's Tim. Nice weekend. Thanks. How about you? People saying hi. People saying hi. Oh, I forgot to do the like, share, subscribe. Hey, do me a favor. Like and share and subscribe and retweet and notification bell. It's free. It doesn't cost you a cent, especially those likes, especially those subscribes. You know, subscribe. If you hate the show, then don't ever come back and things of that nature. But we really need those badly. Badly. We have super chats and we have memberships, and those are great because they help pay the bills around here and make us feel better when we wonder why we even do this show, which happens more and more every day. And Tim Jenkinson says, same here, it's a bank holiday. Well, it's a bank holiday here, but only because it's Memorial Day. Doc Torn is here. Thank you, Doc Torn. That's very kind of you. $2. Cobra Kai. And there's the point. There is the point. Just for that. I don't know what. I don't think that's a siren going off outside. People saying hi. And you know, people saying hi. We do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet, is verified by independent sources. Ariana May is here. Haven't seen her in a while. Good to see her, though. Hi, did you catch the Weenie 500? Yes, we were talking about that last week. A lot of people really into the Weenie 500. I personally couldn't care less, but if it makes people happy, I'm glad they like it. Tim Jenkins says, that's sad. Hopefully you can keep the show going. I assume he's talking about Metal Main Vicky. Yes, that was great having you and Wolf in the chat. Wolf is saying hello. People saying hi. Wolf says he did catch the thing. She wasn't really asking you. She's asking me. Hey, Metal. I did see the Liverpool celebrations and the car that got out of control and went into the crowd. I think that no one was severely injured. I think one person was injured, but I think it looked a lot worse than it was. And I'm glad nobody was hurt. But if anybody was going to be hurt, who would I want it to be? Jordan Henderson. People saying hi. Did you have the Lego ready, Wolf? Wolf says, I spent Sunday in Alex Palou's car. I spent Sunday eating hamburgers and hoping Sato would win because that's Letterman's driver, but he didn't. Doc says, I'm watching from sick bay. Are you really watching from sick bay? I hope you're not, Doc. I hope you're feeling well. Let's see. Tim Jenkins says, I think the driver is trying to get on the Tom Gulley Show after you covered the Bradford City fire. The Liverpool Premier League celebration. But the last thing I heard about that, and I really haven't checked, I might as well check into it. I saw a story about it. I think part of the problem is, we in the United States are much better drivers. So when we plow a car into a crowd, we get the job done. Let's see. Liverpool celebrated the end of the season by tying Crystal Palace. Anyway, Liverpool celebration. I'll just put attack. Attack. Oh, 27 in the hospital. All right, here we go. Let me just see what this says real quick. A 53-year-old man has been arrested after a car hit a number of pedestrians in Liverpool city centre during the Premier League victory parade. Eyewitnesses and videos shared on social media have shown the vehicle driving through a crowd as people scatter. Details are still emerging, but here's what we know so far. A car collided with a number of pedestrians on Water Street just after 6 o'clock, Merseyside police said. In a statement, the force said, we were contacted at just after 1800. Can you guys just use 6 o'clock for crying out loud? Let's see. Car stopped at the scene, male detained, 53-year-old white British man from Liverpool. Not treated as terror-related, believed to be isolated. Ambulance service said 27 people had been taken to the hospital for treatment, with 2, including 1 child, seriously injured. Another people, 20 of them, treated for injuries at the scene. 4 children were among the injured. 4 people, including a child, were lifted beneath the car. Lifted from beneath the car. It's like you guys have never heard of English. You can't be lifted from beneath. It can be removed from beneath, but I just plowed into a group of people. I don't even know why I'm reading this. We have actual serious car plowing into people incidents over here. We don't mess around. So anyway. Doc says, yes, I'm getting over a bad cold. So you're in your own personal sick bay. You're not like at the hospital. I hope. But I am sorry that you've got a bad cold. A lot of people getting allergies here in the Southwest right now. Or middle Southwest, whatever. The South of the North. Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma. There. That area. It's that time of year. I'm not one of them, but Chip looks like an old chunk boy. I don't know what that means. Absolutely no idea. Fishman says they should make the Indy 500 more authentic to the old Roman chariot races by adding mechanized whips to slash your opponent's tires. Yeah, they should. Good idea. Tim said they said it was an English guy in his 50s. Yeah, I just read all that. Fish wrecks aren't cool. You can replace David Attenborough with that accent. I don't know about that, but bread and circus ain't no picnic. Wow, Fishman, you're really bringing the A-quality content today, man. I'm telling you. Don't you have a cousin to date today, Fishman? Tim Jenkinson says, don't you use the 24-hour clock there? Yeah, if we're in the military. Get well soon, Doc. Yes, Doc, get well soon, please. I'm just kidding, Fishman. You're a gentleman and a scholar and a bright man as well. They should make it so the Indy 500 cars can shoot knives out of the front tires. It'd be better. H2B. Yeah, I am H2BH2. Let's see here. That quote you and Wolf use sometimes, I finally looked it up. Quo Vadis. Now I need to see the movie Great Cast. Which quote would that be? I ask of you. In the days of the Greeks and the Romans, are you talking about that quote? I don't know what quote you're talking about. Based. This should actually be like a bonus show or something. It's Memorial Day. I didn't really want to do a show today, but I didn't announce that I wasn't going to do it, so I had to do it. So here we are. Sorry, Shunk Boy. Oh, yes, Shunk Boy. Now I got to go back. Look, Wolf, if you could just take your time and get the thing right so that we don't have to have a correction every time. You know, just take your time. Maybe proofread. You know. I know you've written a novel. But Tim Jenkinson says, may get to the chopper. Maybe get to the chopper. That's okay if you want to relax. You don't want to do a show. Okay, goodbye. That's not what I said. You got to listen. Said I didn't want to do a show today, but that I didn't announce that I wasn't going to do one. I'll be honest, I forgot that today was like a federal holiday. I completely forgot about that. So it's my fault. Fishman says, flexi bicep arm. My keyboard changed it 6 times. Yeah. Autocorrect, auto incorrect, autocorrect, auto incorrect. Yeah, that's what mine does the same thing sometimes. Yes, the quote about in the days of the Greeks and the Romans. If it's in Quo Vadis, I don't know. I've never seen that movie. One of the few. Well, I may have seen it, but I don't recall it. The only place that I know it from is from an encounter the Wolf had with a client that I believe wanted the Wolf to train him in sort of weightlifting and things of that nature. That's where I know it from. And the Wolf barely got out of there with... I don't know. I'm sure he didn't. I mean, I'm sure he could have just walked out. But let's just say in the story that I know it from, it was super creepy. And it was said to the Wolf. And let's see here. Studies show that people who have more birthdays tend to live longer than those who don't. Oh, it's not that movie? Check it out. So I can imagine, the Wolf says the quote is from a perv I trained, not a movie medal. But you know what, Wolf? it would be just like that guy to make that quote from that movie. Maybe that's what happened. I'm not saying it is what happened, but that could be what happened. It would be just like that guy to quote that pervy movie. Wolf's personal horror movie. Yeah, it really was Wolf's personal horror movie. I apologize for how bad that joke was. No, it wasn't a bad joke. It was a fine joke. I mean, when you're the only person that donates at the start of a show, every joke you tell is hilarious. But that one was a fine, little, nice, benign, got a chuckle out of it. It was fine. There's nothing like a Chinese massage. Ugh, stupid phone. Phones are stupid. Phones are so stupid. Out of my 0 drinks, all I have is 40 bottles of water. You know, a birthday cake is a cake. Thank you, StreamYard. Thank you. You are helping and helping and helping. Good Lord, are you helping? You just can't stop helping. Let me see something here. Let me show you something here. So if I do that, and then I click on the Tom Gulley thing there, and then I add this to the stage, then I have to do this again. Oh, here we go. Correction. Phones are real jerks. Hey, Wolf, I thought of you yesterday during the race. How'd you like to be Scott McLaughlin? How'd you like to be that guy? Big favorite at the race. Big favorite at the race. And then not so much. Not so much at all. We are getting so much. Hold on here. I got to go make double extra sure. I'm sure I didn't do this. I got to make sure this window's closed. Hold on. No, it's just so loud. I didn't do anything wrong. I just had to run and check it. And when I checked it, guess what I got to see? You know what car was not running at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this weekend? That piece of junk that interrupts the show all the time. And guess what else? Parked where he's not supposed to be parking again. I still want to call the cops on that guy. But I'm a live and let liver. Doc says, the Tom Gulley Show brought to you with no thanks to StreamYard. You got that right. Yes, well, the Wolf says, there were 3 Fox camera cars. I was watching on the onboard live the whole race. Only 3? I'm going to tell you, just so since we're on a little bit of a sidetrack here, that is the worst coverage of the Indy 500 I have ever seen in my life, and I'm not alone. The internet, it just exploded with disapproval. From the amount of commercials, the opening, getting ready for it was all hokey, and Michael Strahan, there was this kooky video of how he could have been a race driver. That's not the Indy 500. The Indy 500 is about tradition and ceremony and they didn't even show. This is just staggering to me. First of all, when they did the driver interviews, when the drivers would drop out of the race via crash or mechanical failure, they'd be sitting there interviewing them, not even a caption as to who the driver was. I know some of the drivers. I don't know all of them. So all their interviews, you're just guessing, who's this guy? Who could this possibly be? Then they would show the recreation of an accident or anything else. And unlike ABC and NBC, who would point out whose car it was, this car, that car, and here's the number 14 of so-and-so. But here's the big thing. And anybody that wants to play kissy face with Fox Sports, go right ahead. They didn't even show Alex Palou's car crossing the yard of bricks to win the race. Some dummy in 20th place kissed the wall a little bit, and they cut to that. So you didn't see Alex Palou cross the yard of bricks on that broadcast. Not once. You know, the most important thing in a race. No, they didn't show it. Nice job. Worst broadcast I've ever seen. And, you know, next year, if there is a next year, I'm just going to watch it on TV and turn on the radio. The radio broadcast is a million times better, but I know they do NASCAR apparently, but they sucked at doing the Indy 500. Absolutely sucked at it. Donnie's fast truck, I mean George's fast car. I don't know what that means. Wolf says Brady standing next to him. Standing next to, okay, so Donnie who and George who. There were 350,000 people there. Not all of us are the race followers that you are. If you could just help me out a little bit here. All right, birthday cakes. It's birthday week on the Tom Gulley Show. Laugh a damn minute. A birthday cake is a cake eaten as part of a birthday celebration. Probably obvious, that thing. Donnie Brasco. And George Harrison. Hi, I'm Tom Gulley, and welcome to Non Sequitur Theater. I have no idea what this is all about. Anyway, birthday cakes, there's no standard for them. This one here is an 18th birthday cake for some girl named Sophia, or a very unlucky guy. But then again, we have a gentleman in here that thanks to ESPN, I got to see finish from the camera in his car as he crossed the line. I got to listen to the radio conversation too. ESPN or Fox? Wouldn't it be Fox? I'm first in my time in my life. I'm sorry that I brought up the Indy 500. No standard for birthday cakes. Usually it says happy birthday maybe on it. It's customary to serve the cake with little tiny candles all over it, you know, and they usually sing happy birthday to you unless there's the copyright police around or not. There's even a controversy about that. Various variations include cupcakes, cake pops, pastries, and tots. They sometimes have tots. A bit of a tot. You know, these birthday cakes have been part of birthday celebrations in Western European countries since the middle of the 19th century. How do you know that, Tom? You've got no proof. Oh, no. I'm afraid I do. I'm afraid I do. Here's some proof. This is an actual painting, and it's called The Birthday Cake. Look at that. And it's by 19th century German painter Pankratz Corley. Pankratz Corley. One of your favorite Corleys. Look at that. She's putting like twigs and berries and stuff on a cake. Let me tell you something. If you think that they have ceased to put twigs and berries and little leafy things on food in Europe, you're sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. Yeah, of course I do. I was there. Oh, yeah, I was there. The link between cakes and birthday celebrations may date back to ancient Roman times. So it could go back to the days of the Greeks and the Romans. In classical Roman culture, cakes were occasionally served at special birthdays and at weddings. These cakes were made of flour and nuts, leavened with yeast and sweetened with honey. Honey, honey, honey. She's got nice cake. The pastry she's holding is okay. That's right. Look at her with her fancy teal shoes and her matching blouse, all fanciful, putting on airs. Practice of serving birthday cake and such is commonplace in many cultures. In Western cultures, birthday cakes for children are also topped with candles and served with special holders, or those things are simply pressed down into the outer frosting. I have here a number of examples. For a second birthday cake, your cake might look like this. For a different age of birthday cake, and especially if you're German, it might look like that. If you are one of these people that doesn't have strictly defined rules for cake, and I don't know how I feel about that, because number one, I kind of do. I think a cake has to be a cake. But on the other hand, I really like fruit. So this is also a birthday cake. I think perhaps there is a cake under there somewhere, but we can't be sure. Back in the days of the hillbillies and the other people, that is actually a Snow White cake for an urchin. I looked it up. That child is definitely an urchin. That's an urchin. Oh, darn it. Now I'm going to get a different... Look at that thing. That thing's... why, it's an inferno. All right. You just calm down, fella. I was referring to my description of Donnie's fast truck. I made fun of it being ultra-modern and extremely fast. George is referring to the possible name of the fastest car owner in Spanish. Oh, you mean Chip? Chip Ganassi? Roller Skater Girl says, Tom, hello, Roller Skater Girl. Nice to see you here on birthday week. By the way, if everyone could like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all the free things you can do to make us good with the algorithm, the almighty algorithm here during birthday week. And then we have super chats and memberships, and then also plus in addition to as well. You can turn on those gifted memberships. Tells how right down there at the bottom of the screen. So knock yourself out with that. Always good to see Roller Skater, Texas girl. There are a lot of pretty cakes, aren't there, though? Michael Garner says, I tried to blow out my birthday cake. The heat drew me back. Rickles. People saying hi. People saying hi. Is it your birthday? No, it's the week of my birthday. By the way, I rechecked the date on that. I believe my birthday will be on Friday. I originally thought it was going to be on Saturday. But it is indeed going to be on Friday. Is when that occurs. Boy, won't that be fun. Boy, won't that be a thrill a minute. Just a thrill a minute. Oh, gosh. Also, the number of candles often corresponds to the age of the individual being celebrated, usually with an extra one for luck once in a while. An increasingly popular alternative is to use candles shaped as the numerical digits. Sparklers and other pyrotechnics can be used in the cake. Cake is usually presented with all the candles lit, at which point it's customary for the guests to sing happy birthday to you in unison or the equivalent birthday song appropriate to the country. Upon the conclusion of the song, the celebrant is traditionally prompted to blow all the candles out and make a wish, which is thought of to come true if all the candles are extinguished in a single breath. Another common superstition holds that the wish must be made in silence and not to be shared with anyone, lest the wish not come true, and you will be visited by a hellish demon at night that will cut out your throat for having the tenacity to reveal the wish. No, it doesn't matter. Number one, they don't come true. Number two, what are you really wishing for, right? Let me see here. My hubby's on Saturday. Hey now, a couple of Gemini fellas. Michael Gardner says, let's get out of the way. What's your birthday cake type? I don't know. I don't even care. My mom used to make me a couple of strawberries. She would make, when she'd make one pie, she would make two, and she used to make me a strawberry pie. It used to be what I would ask for instead of birthday cake. Mine's strawberry shortcake. That's another good choice. Oh, Roller Girl's birthday will be on the 4th of June, I think. With buttercream icing. Buttercream. Well, Wolf says, well, Doc, you know, Tom is normally happy, peppy, and bursting with love. Yeah, that's me, all right. I'm just a walking milk of human kindness sandwich. Agreed, Wolf. We see that in every show. I find people think he's just explosive with emotion. Yeah, that's me. That's me. The origin of the candle is unknown. There's a lot of different theories. One is that the tradition of placing candles on birthday cakes is attributed to the early Greeks, but not the Romans, who had used candles before to honor the goddess Artemis's birth on the 6th day of every lunar month. So the link between her and birth and birthdays carried over. In the 18th century, the Germans, their history of candles on cakes can be traced back to the Kinderfest, eine ausgezeichnete Party, the birthday celebration for the Kinder. The children, you know. The tradition also makes use of candles and cakes. Says they were free to celebrate another year in a place where the Germans believed that adults protected children from all evil and spirits attempting to steal their souls. By the way, here's a German cake I will show you for yourself. If you look at this cake very closely, you will see that there are chocolates on the cake. I wonder what is inside those chocolates. This is an 100 Jahre birthday cake, which means 100 years. So a person 100 years old would have been born in 1925. And that means in 1943, they would have been 8 years old, much, much older than necessary to have been conscripted into the army of Deutschland. So perhaps they are fond of the German chocolates on this cake. It's not for me to say. I don't know. It's not for me to say, you know. In June of 2017, some researchers at Clemson University reported that some individuals deposit a large number of bacteria onto the cake frosting when blowing out the candles. They found that, on average, the act of blowing out the candles increased the amount of bacteria by 14 times, but one of the researchers described this as not a big health concern. So that is where you get all of the bacteria all over the cake. But, another of the researchers indicated that bacteria is tangy and delicious. Tangy and delicious bacteria, num-nums. Anyway. Roller skater Texas girl, I was right with my calculations. June 4th is her birthday. She's getting elderly. I hear you, sister. Michael Gardner says it was all a ploy by Big Wax to take our money every year. You got that right. Nice. Doc said, I've heard putting candles on cakes was some kind of pagan thing, not Norse pagan. Man, there are people that will tell me this bottled water is pagan. People need to just lighten up. Really sticks in my craw. Wolf says, I'm starting to think these cakes are a fire hazard. Perhaps we should recommend a 69-pound fire extinguisher to be on hand. I have no problem with that. Wow, a whole cake made with Panzer chocolates. Yes, the pilots put some ones. Look how the pilots have put, a few additional up in the sky of the cake. The pilots were all officers, and they all had the better case for that German chocolate, Now that just screams party. Blowing candles out on cakes was outlawed during COVID. My favorite is yellow cake with chocolate frosting. If I'm going to eat cake, I really don't care what kind it is. It's just I'm not a big cake-eating dude. Life is pagan. Yeah, exactly. Breathing is pagan. I saw it in a magazine. Villain, good to see you. Mother told me the other day that Pokemon are pagan. Oh, man. Maybe it's Pervitine is the chocolate. That's what I'm thinking, Doc. Villain was just thinking the same thing. Or maybe they're just Pokemon. I just don't. I've never met anybody in my life that, kind of sidled over to me at some event and went, hey, let's do some pagan stuff, because I'm a pagan. I've heard a lot of people that will find any reason, see the lines on this paper? Yeah, they're pagan. This clip on the edge of this pen, pagan. They just start pointing at stuff and saying it's pagan, which diminishes the actual pagan stuff. Sasquatch was a pagan. Bigfoot. Evil, and Halloween's my favorite pagan holiday. Well, Christmas is pagan, and everything's. Shoelaces are pagan. In Russia, birthday children. Look at this. I think this might be my favorite of all the cakes I took a picture of. It's like a layer cake. In Russia, birthday children are served fruit pies with the birthday greeting carved into the crust, as well as in Lithuania. Rather than a birthday cake, Russian adolescents receive a pie with a sweet birthday message that is illustrated with icing on top of the birthday pie. Traditionally, an English birthday cake is infused with artifacts that signify importance and good luck when baking the cake. To illustrate, adding a coin into the baking of the cake can represent financial success for the birthday individual. Different artifacts within the cake can be used to symbolize a wish for the birthday girl or boy, and also an exciting way for a child to choke to death. Hey, let's load this cake up with choking hazards. Sorry. In the United States, lighting a birthday candle in correlation to the age of the birthday recipient is, sort of a homage to German customs. As well, singing happy birthday songs has become engraved in American birthday culture, while the candles on the birthday are lit. In the 20th century, a birthday trend became evident in American culture where a birthday want or desire would only be achieved if the birthday recipient blew out the candles in one long, disease-ridden exhale with spittle and mucus flying all over the cake, which partygoers got to enjoy immediately following that part of the ceremony. Let's see. The wolf says, well, as long as we don't have that cake when we are in the field, those phantom soldiers should be safe. Vicky, Carvel ice cream birthday cakes are yummy. Cookie Puss, hey. Let's not leave out Fudgy the Whale. I'm Tom Carvel. Right now at Carvel, you can get this wonderful fudge cake for only... Yeah, I want to buy cake and ice cream from a guy that sounds like he's about to cough up his larynx. All right, the wolf says that choking hazard cake is known as whammo cake. Yes, a special whammo cake mix. Roller skater Texas girl says, my big toe was pagan but converted to Christianity by my other toe. That's funny. That's good stuff. I wish I had more to tell you about the birthday cake, but I have run out of the complete amount of birthday cake lore and legend that I have. Totally have run out. Oh, of course, Fudgy the Whale. Yeah, Fudgy the Whale. It's not a party without Cookie Puss and Fudgy the Whale. It's interesting, Middle Main Vicky, because I know that in New York, and I'm assuming other parts of the East Coast, that Carvel thing is so huge and everybody knows about it and he advertises on TV all the time. Where I'm from and all the way out, nobody's ever heard of it. I've only heard of it because I'm hip. But some of these other people are not. Let's see here. I got to put the thing in the chat. Pin the link. I got to pin the link. In the days of the Greeks and the Romans, it was just considered good manners. Well, it's just considered good manners to give the guest a massage. A massage. Oh, that's great. That's just great. Are there really only that? Let me see here. Hold on, folks. I'm pinning this link. I'm pinning this sucker. If StreamYard will just this once. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. Massage. A massage. All right, that's pinned. That's pin to win. The old pin to win. Okay. What do we got here? Fudgy the Whale. Well, of course, World Traveler Gully would know about the guy. I did do a lot of traveling in my younger years. Metalman Biggie says, I like those Entenmann's with the chocolate cake and that marshmallow frosting. I don't like marshmallows, but I do like Entenmann's. I like their raspberry coffee cake a lot. Entenmann's is big in the Midwest, but but not Carvel's. But everybody in New York knows about Carvel. Like, I just couldn't stand that guy's voice. It sounded like he had a gallon of phlegm in his throat. Well, cookie possum from a while. So I pinned the link. I guess we got 15 minutes left. And then I don't know what tomorrow's about. I was trying to get some guests for this week, but everybody's off on Memorial Day. Thrill Fest, fun time. So we'll see what happens here this week. Yeah, Tom Carvel was growls. Let me take that down. I'm sick of looking at cake. I'm all out of cake. Growly. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the very same thing. So, yes, the Indy 500 was a fine race. One of the big favorites crashed in just warming up his tires before the start of the race. Oh, man. Can you imagine? You're one of the favorites, and you're just going back and forth, warming up your tires, and you spin out of control, crash, and you are done in the race. You got to tell all those sponsors you've been talking to the whole month, hey, we're going to make a good showing for you, Mr. Pennzoil, or whoever it is. And then, it's just got to be so extremely embarrassing. Oh, God. Well, you play with fire, you're going to get burned. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. How embarrassing. Yeah, very first lap. Very first lap. Very, very first lap. I know the Wolf had said that he was watching the race on those cams because they put cameras in all the cars. But that Fox had 3 of them. Don't they normally do a ton more than that for NASCAR? And I remember in years past, it seemed like they had a lot more than that for IndyCar. I don't know I don't know what kind of second-rate clip joint they're running up there at Fox Sports, but it was just a bad broadcast. Bad broadcast. Bad. So, yeah. You do all that practice. They spend all those millions on the car. You get all the sponsors. And, yeah, especially with just, because you've seen them going back and forth to warm up the tires, because it was 62 degrees there, which is considered cold for the racetrack. And so they got to try and get those tires warm because it gives them better adhesion to the road. But don't overdo it, champ. Don't be overdoing it. So, my husband said he cried. I don't know if he cried, but his head was in his hands and stuff. I don't think it's anything to cry about. I mean, it's just the most embarrassing thing that will ever happen to him in his career, and he'll never live it down, but crying would make it worse. Crying will just make fishtailed the car. He did. He just he overcorrected too, by the way. And you can hear during the clip he revved his engine. He was trying to put some more power into it. Bad mistake. Bad. It was bad. It was dirty. It was bad. Anyway. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Sorry, I didn't see you there.
Howdy, mister.
How you doing?
Fine and dandy.
How'd you like to be Scott McLaughlin today?
How'd you like to be anybody that didn't win?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'd much rather be who was second, Erickson. I'd rather be Erickson or Pato Award, who I think it was fourth, but then I would Scott McLaughlin, who crashed before the race started. That takes some doing.
Well, the thumbnail had, because I know some of these stations get their stuff from ESPN, so it was Fox, but for some odd reason it had ESPN at the beginning of it and then Fox. They had what they thought were the three fastest cars, I guess. Hello, Pato Award, and crud, what's the dude that went out?
Oh, I thought they'd have Newgarden, but
yeah,
okay,
yeah, and he went out for the first part of the race. Mostly it was his car, and then they would show like the other two split, the split screen. The bad part about being on those in-car cams is that you don't hear anything else that's going on. All you see is what the race car driver sees, sort of. And you get to hear what the team's saying to them on the radio. So that last part, when Erickson was leading, they were saying, giving him seconds between the car behind him and the one in front. And as it got down to, I think it was 10 laps, they said they were worrying about fuel consumption. So they kept telling him what his fuel markers were. And that last 10 laps, they said, fuel is good. Pass him if you can. Pass him right away. And he didn't pass him on that lap, but he got him 2 laps later.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, getting to watch that. And,
Well, Newgarden, I didn't want him necessarily to win again because that would have made him the only 3-time in a row. But he actually did get up through the field pretty well. I mean, I think he was in the top 10 at one point, but
I think he was in 5th at one point, but that was because of pit stops too.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, but he did what I think Mario one year did, a similar thing, and ended up being second or something. But that's a tough. It's not necessarily a tough way to spend the race, but nobody else has to do it, and you do. These people don't realize a 500-mile race, you're not going to win it on the first lap. You're not going to take the lead and never surrender it. You might as well just be positioning yourself the whole day for those final 50 laps. That's really all you want to do. And but McLaughlin, it's just like, dude, what were you thinking? And then
here's the truth on the tires. You can't get tires up to temperature until you run laps.
Yeah.
So what they're really doing is scrubbing the crap off of those tires.
Scrubbing them, scuffing them up.
And that's happened a couple of times in F1. It's happened in NASCAR. F1 not so much because they still use tire warmers, but
he just got into his engine too. I mean, obviously too much, and then overcorrected. But dude, come on.
You got all that adrenaline pumping through you, and who knows?
Well, that's like me playing, in goal during a soccer match, and somebody, they kick the ball down, and I catch it, and I throw it into my own net. Well, he had all that adrenaline pumping in him. I don't know. It happens sometimes. Just turned around and kicked it into his own goal. It's one of those things.
Now, Tom, soccer's not a car. There's a little difference in there.
But it's the same. There's a brain driving that car.
Those cars are so touchy. They're not as touchy as Formula One cars, but they're pretty touchy.
Well, so is a soccer ball.
And then I thought it might get rained out because for a while it was sprinkling pretty good, and I was like, well, why are they still, running?
They knew that that was going to stop real fast. My dad told me the day before. He's like, "You're going to get a couple of sprinkles in the morning, but it's going to stop real fast." So I kind of figured it wasn't much of a delay. Now maybe they got him on the track a little too soon. I don't know about that, but he did what he did. Pretty embarrassing. Can you imagine being the team owner next year going, "Hey, would you like to sponsor our..." Hello? 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 Yeah. Telling the people at the Pennzoil or whoever, "Hey, we didn't get you a lot of coverage, but for 5 minutes there, you were the story. You were front and center." Yeah.
I didn't get any info on it because, as I said, I was in the car in Hello and Battle Award, and I was in their car, so I knew something happened, and I tried to go to another channel to see what happened, and it was already too late.
I think it was Marco Andretti got taken out by Jack Harvey.
Right away. Yeah.
They were going 3 wide, and somebody below Harvey, it looked like they were going to go higher on the track. And so Harvey, to overcorrect that, to get away from them, he went way higher than he should have. And he, Marco got into the wall. Somebody took out somebody early, clipped the back of them after they had gotten hit. The beginning of that race just wasn't very clean. There was a lot of people doing a lot of stupid stuff early. And
there always is. I don't care what race you're at, where you are.
Might as well weed them out. All those Kevin Kogan types. It's like all the smart. And when they showed Newgarden, when they showed Newgarden there at the start, he was 20 car lengths behind everybody.
Yeah, I got to watch him work his way up, and then.
But the first 2 laps or so, he was so far back from which was smart. It's like, hey, I'm at the back of the pack here. Why will I hug everybody's bumper during the start and everything else? I might as well just stay 10 car lengths back, and that way, if there's any problems, I can either, slow down, go underneath it, or whatever else. But
and it's hard to. I've been nowhere near that speed. Those guys are like 60 miles an hour or more over what I ever drove at. But when you're at $160 plus, that stuff comes at you so fast.
Yeah.
You get to watch them when somebody checks up how close it is to them crashing. I mean, that stuff comes at you ridiculously fast. Your brain adjusts to it, but there's still, nothing you can really do. You just have to guess and hope you guessed right, and if you didn't, then you're crashed.
Roller Skater Texas Girl says, "We watch Formula One." I should say my husband does. I did have the pleasure to track an NSX on the Texas Motor Speedway once. That's cool. Texas Motor Speedway, where one year all the drivers got vertigo and their hands got numb and they started seeing black dots because when they rebuilt the track,
their brains were smashing against the top of their skulls.
Yes, they built it a little too good. Cars can go faster than their brains can go. Roller Skater Texas Girl says, "I've tracked a few times at Texas Motorsport Ranch. Takes a lot out of the car, though. It sure does."
Well, you get to hear them because they don't. What Tim apparently doesn't realize is that on an oval track, you're changing gears all the time. So you change gears going into a turn. You change gears coming out of a turn. You got the thing about NASCAR is that their tires and their setups can change. Like you could push going into a turn, be too tight coming out of it, or you might have 3 different ways of feeling the wheel and the car going in one turn. So it's constant adjusting on weight jackers and in IndyCar and on
Well,
shocks and those things in NASCAR.
in IndyCar, that steering wheel looks like a game controller for a Nintendo. I mean, and they're doing all that shifting with their
It's ridiculous.
hands. Yeah, they're doing the shifting with their hands on the
You're
steering
adjusting
wheel.
brake bias and all kinds of
Yeah,
crap.
acceleration and a lot of other things.
And think about this: Formula One's got even more controls. It's stupid how much they have to take practice just on what to do with the steering wheel.
Well, they just want everything to be a little fancier.
Yeah, I don't know why they need all
that's why
that.
Racing
was better without all that crap.
Yeah. Well, roller skater Texas girl says they broke that over up by adding a chicane. Well, it was always a tri-oval, but the problem was they banked it too high and smoothed it out too much. But that Texas Motor Speedway the track was in bad shape, and it was an admirable goal. It's like, let's smooth this things out, let's do some stuff to the banking so that it's a little easier to. But they didn't test it. If that had happened at Indy, which it never would, they're not going to change all that much stuff at Indy. But if it ever did happen, the people there would test that thing constantly. It would have been totally tested. It wouldn't have been much drivers showing up and all of a sudden, I can't feel my hands no more. They're numb. I can't. These little black dots are in the corner of my eye.
What did it raise the G's like a point and a half or something?
Yeah, yes, they did.
Like
Yes,
it was more G's than a fighter pilot pulls.
exactly. And then when they had the drivers meeting, all these drivers are going, you can race it, I'm not racing it. And
Yeah.
I think there was talk. I think they ended up having a sort of a race, but there was only 8 cars on the track or something, and those cars were all governed.
Yeah.
But Texas skater roller, she lives a vivid and exciting life. Does Texas roller skater girl? She does. I do not, but she does. I do not.
I have, but I've calmed down a little. Sort of.
I don't know what I'm doing. It's a mess. It's a mess. So let's see here. Let's see if this is probably just YouTube telling me I have a show on.
Your show is ready to go.
Yeah, that gives me a notification that my show's on. So anyway, yes, the pageantry and the history that is the greatest spectacle in racing. They did that dumb little movie. Did you see that about Fisher going down to Petersburg and getting all the bricks to build the brickyard? Oh God, it's an old timey car. Petch. Go driving from Indianapolis to Petersburg and going to like the Clay County brick foundry, and a lot of flowery language. Good day, sir, Mr. Clay. I was here to inquire about some of your fine brick. Well, I'd be obliged to entertain your query. Just fake language. And how many brick would you be needing for your endeavor, sir? Around 3 million. Did you say 3 million, sir? Give or take a few 100,000. Then they got into, well, the brick is needed to fashion a roadway for speed buggy, velocipedes. They could travel up to 60 miles an hour. 60 miles an hour? Egads, man. Is such a thing possible?
Breakneck dangerous speed.
It was just so hokey and dumb. And I'm like, this is not the Indy 500. That's not what we do here, Fox. That ain't what
I
we
was
do
watching
here.
Monaco in the morning, so I didn't see any of that stuff. Not that I would have watched it anyway.
I don't know who was in charge of that broadcast, but I do know this. Whoever it was, guy was a real jerk.
No good son of a gun is what he was.
Yes. He was,
Yeah, when I saw Strahan and Brady standing down there, I was like, what in the heck are they doing there? Towering above everybody.
oh, yeah. The people that did drivers go to your cars, it was A-Rod and Derek Jeter. Boy, if there's something people from Indiana love, it's New York Yankee baseball players from
There you
15
go.
years ago.
Crowd favorites for sure.
Oh, and Brady got booed, of course, because it's Indianapolis,
course.
you know.
Of course.
And then what was the other thing about it? It was I can't stand the new guy that sings Back Home Again in Indiana. He's the Chicago Blackhawks singer, and all these Chicago people, oh man, he's so good. He sucks. He you know, it's just stop it. Just stop it. Get somebody else. Metal Maiden Vicky, let's egads, man. Great Hogan's goat.
Yeah, it's been awful for quite a few years, to be honest with you. I stopped watching that pre-race stuff.
ABC and NBC did a real good job of it. I mean, they weren't that much different, but Fox this year, oh God, were they bad? And just little things like put graphics up that tell who you're talking to. There's a guy in army clothes, you know. Is that the guy that's in charge of all the flyovers and stuff? And if so, what's his name? You know, it's just it was just bad. And it didn't have that urgency. I was like Paul Page and those guys that were like, you know, it was almost like they had 15 cups of coffee getting ready for the race to start because everything was, well, he's going into number 3, and right now he's got the short shirt, man, and back with him is Derek Daly, and Derek Daly's going to try to pass underneath him. And it's like, okay, yeah. There's a tremendous battle going on right now for 7th place between, you know, and they were on it. And these guys were not on it. You know, any little thing, a crash and stuff, you got to tell some people or give them a visual cue. Look at the middle of the pack, the bright purple car and the orange car. You're going to see so-and-so clip, you know, none of that. There's a crash over here. Good luck to you. You can sort it out with your peepers.
Well, what driver did they have doing commentary?
Okay, so like during the race, it was 2 guys I'd never heard of before. But the main at the main anchor booth that didn't call the race but hosted some of the early things was Danica and Tony Stewart.
Oh, Lord.
And I was just dying for Tony Stewart to quit.
Hey, Tony Stewart's doing good in the NHRA. He's won 2.
Well, Tony Stewart, I just wanted him so many times to, instead of trying, I like Tony Stewart.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to be a nice guy on TV and build his image up a little bit because he's a team owner and all that
being a
stuff.
real jerk.
I wanted him to be what he really is, which is a real jerk.
Jerk.
After Danica would say, well, this is what you're looking for here, is it? You know, hey, why don't you shut up? You never won nothing. You need to get out of here.
You won a race now. Come on. Granted, it was shortened by rain and half the field was gone, but
yes, I was just about to say they didn't even want to finish it, NASCAR. And by the way, they mysteriously, you know, called that race about 14 seconds after she took the lead. Because they rain shortened it the day before, and then they just ended it the next day. And as Danica Patrick comes into the lead around 3rd turn, she just crosses the finish, and it's over for marketing reasons.
Rings at Mulcahy.
And it's over for marketing reasons. Yes, Wolf, she's got one more IndyCar win than you or I.
And that's because I can't fit into a car.
And that's because the Jaguar doesn't fit into
Hey, we can put some twin turbos on there and He can hook you up with some ground effects and get you out there.
Yeah, that's okay. I prefer to take it out to Winchester, the world's fastest half mile. Any old way. All right, I need to shut this down. This has not been a.
There you go.
This will not go into the best shows vault.
So what do you got planned for your birthday?
Nothing. I'm gonna
Nothing.
Sit here and lament my existence.
You're not going to go to a baseball game or go to
Baseball.
something.
Baseball. I don't really like baseball that much.
What? What do you mean you don't like baseball that much?
I don't.
Well, I don't either, I guess.
Especially, I mean, look, they've been losing me since the 90s. They had a strike season when they just went, yeah, we're done. They didn't get rid of Angel Hernandez for forever. They now got the things with the pitch clock and start at second base, add extra innings. You can't slide. You can't break up a double play anymore. You can't.
I like the diagram showing the pitches and how bad the ump is calling the box.
you can't T-bone the catcher at home plate anymore. Forget it. I don't care.
That's a violent. That was a meme on YouTube. The kids are playing, and one kid.
He just ran over another kid that wasn't even blocking the plate.
Well, he was close enough that I would have run him over. But you can hear the parents in the background go, "Oh, blah blah," and the lady's going, "That's my little boy," and he did the right thing. That was funny.
No, that was the deal where there wasn't even a play at the plate. The other kid was standing up. He wasn't even, there wasn't anything going on. And the other thing that was weird about that to me was the catcher was a little kid. And the dude that ran over him looked gigantic. And it's like, is that one of those unfortunate communities where instead of making them play by age, they make them play by grade level, like in school?
Well, he's just big boned, that's all.
Because when I lived in Zionsville, we had football was 4th grade to 6th grade. We had one or two kids, let's just say, that didn't get out of 4th grade or 6th grade for 2 or 3 years, and they were towering above everybody else. And I was just sitting there going, is that my reward for being a good student, is having to play with these gargoyles who didn't study? And then, it's like...
Hey, I had to play against some of those gargoyles.
I didn't enjoy that, but
seemed to make it onto the football team.
I didn't mind once you get older, it all evens out. There's a big difference between a 4th grader and what should be an 8th grader. It's a big difference.
Not so much, no. If you're Big John, yes. The other guys, no.
It's
freaks of nature are freaks of nature.
Yeah, I understand that, but do you want the freak of nature when he's in 6th grade or 8th grade? I'll take him in 6th grade. And there's not many of those, but there's a lot of slow in the head kids that can be 4 years older than somebody and whip their tail.
I'm telling you, I had to play against a bunch of them, so I already know that.
That's the freak. That's the freak of nature argument. It's not the everyday person argument.
The whole Carmel team looked like freaks of nature.
Well, I guarantee you they didn't, flunk twice to play. They probably all got straight A's. Smart guys on that particular crop of players.
Bunch of crybabies.
Bunch of undefeated
crybabies.
State champion
crybabies.
If you say so.
I do say so because I had to deal with it, remember?
If you say so.
Try to hit me after the whistle was blown. I punched him in the stomach, and he cried and ran off the field.
I only hear one crybaby right now.
Well, the quarterback was a crybaby. Two of their linemen were crybabies. Now they were twice our size, but
yeah. I only hear one person complaining, so
I'm not complaining. I'm telling you, they were crybabies. That's not a complaint. They can play however they play.
Name calling, poor sportsmanship.
Oh, the pot calling the kettle black.
I never called anybody a crybaby. I might have called him a baby. Baby.
Right.
I might ridicule their speed or I certainly would ridicule their facilities. Their facilities.
You've never said one derogatory word about other players. Never. Not Mr. Angry Giant. No.
I didn't. Mine are all based on performance attributes.
So are mine.
Well, crybaby isn't a performance attribute. That's just simple name calling.
When you punch somebody in the stomach and they start crying, that's a crybaby.
You punched somebody in a football game?
No, I was just kidding.
Yes. See,
I've never been thrown out of games before for fighting. Never.
That's poor sportsmanship, and
absolutely. Swinging his helmet after a late hit out of bounds.
Well, then that's the referee's job to penalize that sort of behavior.
No, it's my job to let them know they're not ever going to get away with doing that again. That's the way you play.
Good night, Middleman Vicky. Well, perhaps, I don't know. I always let the referee handle it, and
right. That doesn't match all the stories you've told me about coming out of goal and taking care of some business.
Well, that's for the referee to handle.
Nope. Don't say you didn't, because you did.
When there's a clash of bodies on the field, that's for the referee to handle.
Accidental. You slipped on a banana peel. That's what really happened.
Well, no, it was intentional
muddy
behavior.
Field.
But you're just trying to have to find the line between how rough the referee is going to let you play.
Muddy field, rainy. That had to be what happened. Why you'd never go out of your way to give somebody a shot.
Well, sometimes, and also sometimes, even in American football, you just accidentally collide with somebody. But to intentionally punch someone in the stomach, well, I've never done anything that scurrilous.
Oh, that's too bad.
Let's see, goalkeepers are allowed to punch people. They can just say they were trying to punch the ball. Well, if the referee sees it differently, they can be ejected, or they can get the old Emi Martinez treatment from this weekend. Oh, God. This goalkeeper for Aston Villa, he must have run 45 yards out of his goal. One of the Manchester United players had a breakaway, and he totally body surfed him. There was no intent to play the ball whatsoever. My whole thing was like, he's Manchester United. They suck so bad right now. You might as well just waited and tried to save the shot. But, ooh. And the Højbjerg, the Manchester United player, crumpled to the ground like a wet napkin. And our Martinez just got up and went, what? I just playing the ball. That's different. That was very intentional. I bet you Tim saw it. And then what was it like? There was also a match where don't get me started. It just
don't get me started.
The referee in this match was really inexperienced, and they're told to not necessarily blow the whistle until like the play is over in certain situations. And he did, and they did the VAR, the video assistant referee, and it was shown that he had made the wrong call. Well, because he made the wrong call, the goal that they scored didn't count. because he blew his whistle. Had he not blown his whistle, they could have reviewed it. Oh, did they get screwed over? Tim Jenkins says Everton beat Newcastle. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That was one of, I think, the matches in question on that whole thing. But all they needed to do, Aston Villa, was to tie. Tim, did you see Martinez take that dude out, take Højbjerg out? Well, let me know if you did. But, I mean, it was a really solid impact. And he didn't even, like, put his hands out like he was going for the ball. He like, turned himself sideways and just... It's a nice, solid contact. You should check it out online. And let's see. Tim Jenkins says, plus Sunderland got promoted, so that's another team for Newcastle to hate next season. Tim said, yeah, he did a good job. Sunderland, I actually watched the highlights of that match. They scored in the, 95th minute or something? So they're going up to the Premiership. That's worth, I don't know, $200 million or something. But anyway.
No, that's not enough. That's not enough to do anything with. Come on.
Well, for Sunderland it is. But you don't just get that $200 million. That $200 million is just for starters. Then you get higher ticket prices, more merch sales, a lot of other things. And then if you were to happen to get relegated, you would get paid like you're in the Premier League, sort of, for a certain number of years. It starts to decrease, but, whatever. I think they said $250 million. Okay. Some amount of millions that I won't get any of. Roller Skater Texas Girl said, I have to run. Great to see you all. Have a wonderful night. Roller Skater Texas Girl, good to see you, and we will count the days.
Good night, Roller.
We will count the days down to your June 4th birthday. And I will hope that even 50 people watch this show today. And I don't know what tomorrow's is going to be about. So, good times. Good time. Man, it is raining like crazy. Oh, hey, I met a guy this weekend from San Diego. Not the greatest speaker of English, but I mentioned Escondido, and he got all bright-eyed. Oh, Escondido, yes, I know Escondido.
Was his name Jorge? Did he have a fast car?
I think he was either Jose or Jose B. I don't know which one he was, but he was fine. He was a wonderful man. And, but I was able to get on his good side by mentioning Escondido. Oh, incidentally, your lovely new Major League Soccer team, San Diego, whatever it is, United or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're on San Diego State University's campus. Isn't that where they play the games?
Yeah, that new stadium.
Yeah, that's a nice place. You should see the wonderful, just lovely beating of a man that was there to watch Los Angeles FC play. Probably only 15 people chasing him and beating him.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Days of old.
Good. San Diego FC. Yeah, just really makes me want to head on out there and take in a ball game. It's on Twitter. You can see it all over this place. This poor guy, he gets down in the fetal position, and these guys are stomping and kicking him. And he eventually grabs a guy's leg, pulls himself off, and manages to bust through the ring of them. And of course, the gaggle of them chase him and catch him again, beat him up again, get him on the ground again, and vice versa. It just keeps happening.
I was on every news channel in San Diego when a fight with the Chargers playing the Jaguars.
Oh, yeah, you told
fight
me
right
about that.
down in front of me. And for some reason, these guys decided they were going to stomp these two Jaguar fans. And one of them got 5 years for something like aggravated assault or something like that. Ended up breaking his leg doing it. Woodrow Lowe was trying to break the fight up.
What'd the other one get? 15 yards for.
I think he got 2. I think he got 2 years.
Personal foul.
I think he got 2 years. But it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there's fights breaking out all the time. Not as bad as Raiders games in the Coliseum, but it's.
Yeah,
Charger fans, unfortunately, are pretty stupid.
Sounds like a real nice place, San Diego. I can't wait to come out there.
Hey, now listen here, fella. You just back up on that.
I'm sure it's a pageant of good manners and.
Yes, they offer as part of the.
It was just they were just
part of the guests.
They were just offering that guy a massage. I understand.
For the visitors, we here in San Diego realize that it's just good manners we just considered it good manners to offer a massage to the visiting team fans.
Yeah, that's nice.
I remember in Virginia.
Well, anyway, I got to get out of here.
All right. I'm going to try to watch for some reason, I couldn't find any live unmessed up broadcasts of the Coca-Cola 600 after Indy. So I'm going to have to try to find that and see what happened there.
Yeah, check it out. All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Adios.
Well, that's going to do it for tonight. I'm looking at that old clock on the wall, and it says that, man, this has been a terrible show. I've just not done a very good job. Anyway, so the clock on the wall, Reverend Al Green, can't stay here. The only thing left to say is, till next time, we'll see you next time.
We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin, and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. Here we go now. I'm talking about Mr. Gulley, and you don't know where he's been. Oh no, he's been right in your alley. Well, I'm Mr. Gulley, yes I am. So what we're talking about?